Boom, shaka, laka. Welcome to the Growth Mindset, episode 9. We are on episode 9 now. It is August 2nd, 2024 for the time capsule. And today I want to just touch a little bit on the perfectionist problem. But before we do that, I do want to share with you guys a little magic trick. So, with everything going on between the business, the family, the training, everything that we have going on takes a lot of energy. And what I used to do to get revved up and get going is I would take 4 shots of espresso. So like 240 milligrams of espresso just to get the day started. I like to start the day early. So I would do 4 shots of espresso. But then I actually found Magic Mind, and Magic Mind has been a huge helper. I've cut that caffeine almost like more than just half, almost like 60 or 70%. I've cut my caffeine intake down by that much. So now in the morning, I don't lose that espresso because I love the espresso. So I don't lose that piece of it. But now I take 1 shot of espresso, 1 Magic Mind, and boom, I've got the energy that I need for the day. So that little magic trick has been phenomenal. If you guys are interested in trying Magic Mind, you can use Dirk 20 for up to 48% off. This is what's fueling us now, and it's cut my caffeine down by a ton, which I love. It's a great magic trick. I don't get these huge roller coasters now. We just got good, sustainable energy. So I do that right before the day starts with my espresso, and we get out of the door and running, baby. Okay, with that said, so the perfectionist problem, and I was thinking about, and I don't know, like I would say a lot of competitive people deal with this issue, but I definitely have this problem with perfectionism. I want to be perfect, and I want my craft to be perfect. And although that's good because it drives competition and it drives a really high standard, sometimes that creates a real big issue, especially with internal dialogue. I think that's probably the biggest one. It's really, for me, it's always been a you versus you game, but that internal dialogue is always like, it's never enough. It's always got to get better. It's always got to be the next thing. And sometimes I forget to sit and reflect and look back on the things that have gone well, right? So if you think about, like, one of the things we're working on is going from a solopreneur into a entrepreneurship into like a real business that can run without me being there. That's the whole point of creating a business, right? Is to create something that doesn't need you to operate. And when you're doing that, there's a lot of different challenges. And so on that perfectionism challenge, or that problem I have, I want everything to happen very quickly and I want it to go perfect. And there's 2 issues with that. First and foremost, I don't look back. I don't very often, until right now we're reflecting on it, look back and say, hey, look how far we've come, and use that as a confidence builder rather than, hey, it's not good enough yet, right? And so when you look back and you go from when you were wearing every single hat as an entrepreneur to now we've got 8 employees and we've got systems, although they need to be worked on and perfected, since we're on the perfectionist problem, they need to be continued to worked on. They've come so far. So, I look back and I say, hey, from a delegation side, how many pieces of the business do I not have to touch anymore? Well, we've got a phenomenal project manager who pushes out all the 4 weeks and takes care of all the projects, protects them and manages them better than I could. We've got great superintendents in the field helping with quality control, moving the subs along and dealing with all the inspectors, bringing those builds to life. We've got, on the admin side, we've got an amazing admin team that takes care of contracts and certificates of insurance and draw processes, right? And so what we used to do, I gotta drop bombs on my man Riley over here as well from a marketing side, right? Before Riley came on from a marketing side, we were just sort of piecing it together, doing every little piece of it. And then you're able to start bringing on these really talented, great people who help you build the system. And it's a perfectionist doesn't look at what they've done. They're just focused on what needs to come next. And so I think that that's a problem. And being able to look back and say, like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, we've come a far way. We have a long way to go, but we've come a far way as well, right? I don't even know if that word makes sense, but it doesn't matter. Like, we still have a great road ahead of us, but let's look back. Like, the road we've traveled has been pretty good, and we've been able to, really create from a delegation and system side. We're on our way. We have the foundational pieces in place. And so I think it's really important, if you're a perfectionist like me, don't lose that. Don't lose your fire, but make sure to look back and celebrate the things that have already gone well. Celebrate the things that are looking good, because what happens many times with perfectionists is we're going to see, let's say you look at something and 95% of it is great, but we focus on the 5% that needs to be fixed. And so it's just a reminder to yes, that 5% needs to be fixed, but also let's zoom out and look at the 95% that's going so good, so great. And it's just a reminder for myself on that to fix that perfectionist problem by looking at it from both sides of, hey, yes, this is going really good, and using positive pivots and a positive mindset, we can get even better.